It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
I have also Mr. James Guinea Kamwa. Say hello to our listeners, please.
Good morning, listeners. My name is Emeka James Guinea Kamwa. I'm a businessman here in Amsterdam.
Wonderful, I like that. We have once again Chief Kyrian Agbodike. Say hello to our listeners, please.
Good morning, everyone. We are once again here, and it will be fun this morning.
You can see we are reloaded. I hope we'll be able to cover enough material in a given time. I'm going to approach this topic today from a slightly different way. I'm going to give 3 case studies, and each one we're going to give our input on it. Now, in the first case study, there's a man who is. Now, let's say let me read it this way. An inch under 6 foot tall, Dave, a gardener with a deep, gravelly voice, is not most people's idea of a domestic violence victim. But he suffered 2 years of abuse at the hands of his girlfriend and was too embarrassed and loyal to report her to the police. He slept in his car for weeks before speaking to his local council, who found him a place at a man's refuge. Now, he struggles to keep it together when he recalls the day his girlfriend smashed a bottle of Jack Daniels across his head, leaving him bleeding on the pavement. A deep scar is still clearly visible on his forehead. But when the 45-year-old from Essex describes the relief of being believed by the authorities, he breaks down, his broad shoulders heaving beneath his rugby shirt. Now, does this scene ring a bell to any of you gentlemen on the panel this morning?
Sure.
Yes, the chief. Go ahead. Nana, go ahead. You want to say something about what does that tell you? Is that something that is realistic, or you think it's imagined?
It's a fact. It's something that has happened. If it's not happened, somebody will not write that. And the person, Dave, as you said, is been smashed with a bottle across the face and bleeding all over with let's say, a scar. For me, it's a violence that's not. It deserves an outright report to the police, and there's something that action has to be taken out from there. This is a civil society, a civil thing, right? So something has happened here. First of all, it goes to the court for the court to decide that. If you play down on this, then the person is going to be, something is going to terribly happen when he gets back there. But for me, it's a violence, total violence, be it in a house or outside a house on the street. If this happened on the street, somebody straight away sees that, and it will be a complaint will be lodged. Mm-hmm. So it's a case that needs to be tackled properly and well organized.
You said that needs to be, but the fact is, does that really happen? We know for a fact that most men are too ashamed and embarrassed to bring this out in the open.
What is shameful with this? There's no shame in this sense, because you have been smashed with a bottle across your face and you're bleeding.
Yes.
You tell me that it's a shame? Are you ashamed to tell somebody that it's my girlfriend who had done that?
Now, if you get to that extent, of course, you can't hide it no more. But before that, a lot of this would have been happening.
Aha.
And this is where it begins. That was just a climax of the whole thing.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Let me give the floor to James. You tell us, does this thing ring a bell? And can you relate to it?
Thank you, Apostle. First of all, I want to thank you very much for this topic, because this is a topic. This topic is a very critical one, because it's a topic that has been left. All we hear is domestic violence on women, domestic violence on women. Why the men are dying?
Yes.
Not such. This is not just a fabricated story. It does happen every day, even as we speak. Because somewhere, I think you can tell me, you can say, but you know better of that the Bible said the women are the weaker vessel.
Yes.
So when anything happens,
the weaknest can be very strong.
But there are even, most especially in the Western world where we are now, women are even the stronger vessel more than men. In a shortcut, such things do happen every day, even as we speak.
Okay.
Somebody somewhere is suffering a violence from a woman.
Uh-huh.
It does happen.
Yeah. Steve Kieran, I'm sure you agree with what you said, so you have a contrary...
No, I totally agree, because this is one area that have been oversighted. People do not think it is possible, but it is really possible.
Mm-hmm.
I have these cases that I have even treated sometimes here and even back in Nigeria.
Yes.
This one even involved, the Nigerian one even involved the police officer. The wife always beat him that blue black. But when you arrive, if you arrive the scene, the woman will turn the man on herself and then say that start crying that the man has been beating her.
Yeah.
So it is something that I believe very strongly that some women, there's domestic violence that involves the men, but the problem, like what led to that breaking of the forehead, is because of the shame. The man has been suffering in silence. He had not been able to air his problems, to share it with people. Because if he had been able to share it with friends or relatives, maybe he would have been advised how to handle it, so that to avoid that assault occasioning harm, because in the police they call it assault occasioning harm. And like my friend said, that is a civil matter. It's not a civil matter. It's a criminal matter. It's a criminal matter. It's not a civil matter.
Wow.
So if somebody breaks someone's head, you have to go to the police.
I think, like you rightly said from the beginning, a lot of the women have been treated like, okay, the weaker sex, so they think that men are more likely to beat women than women beating men. So women have been favored in such a way that they tend to be believed more than the men. So the men don't feel empowered to bring us such incidents, even though it's happening at home. They tend to just endure until it gets out of hand. So maybe this is an opportunity for the authorities to take another look at this policy whereby women tend to be more favored when it comes to reports of violence, domestic violence cases. I don't know what you think about that. Do you think it's time for another look at this whole issue?
If I may?
Yes, sure.
Yes, I think there's a big point in here. When we look at the institutions here in Holland,
Yes.
The whole institution was set up by women.
Oh, by women.
So, generally speaking, the professionals are trained from the idea that it's women against whom the violence is directed. And that's partly true, of course, but this topic of today, violence against men, is, it was not dealt with until 2008, when the first mannenopvang, as they call it, here in Holland, was established.
Okay.
So you can also see it in the policy and the expertise of the people in this field, that they're behind the facts. And as the gentlemen are saying, and your case is very, you can relate to it, and it happens all the time.
Yes.
And it's already mentioned the shame, and also the honor of a man to go out and say it's true, it's happening to me. I think it takes a lot of guts. You have to be very brave to stand up, for yourselves. And then another factor I would like to add is that the relationship between men and women have been evolving through times, and nowadays it's not only here, I hear it everywhere, is that it's as if the women are dominating. And they are, in certain areas they are. So we have just lost the balance in our relationships. And one of the results can be abuse to men, and the other can be to women or to children. So there's so many different factors at different levels, which brings us to this kind of abuse.
Well, I would like to, at this point, ask a question. What is often the cause of the situation whereby women begin to abuse men, and how does it really begin? I know it probably begins with verbal abuse, and then it gets into other things. But what's usually the cause of the abuse which women rail against men? Joachim, maybe you would like to
weigh in on this. Yeah.
Yes.
I think I would like to bring a lighter note to the discussion. I want to thank my panelists.
Okay.
This morning they all spoken well, and this is an issue that cannot be swept under the carpet no more. It's something that should be looked at, because if a thing is not discussed, then it persists and it continues.
Yes.
Mine is like, I'll begin with a joke, and it's about a couple that took their son to visit another family friend.
Yes.
And it happens that the family friend also has a son, and during the course of the visit, the little boys were arguing. One said, my father is stronger than your father, my father can beat your daddy. The other one said, no, it's a lie, my own daddy will beat your daddy. I think it was going back and forth. It got to a point that after one of them now looked, the visiting couple said, it's true, Sha, that your father can beat my daddy, because even my mommy beat my daddy.
Thank you for coming this morning.
Yeah, so it's a reality. Time will not permit me to even share my own experience, and I don't believe the moderator will want me to share my experience, but this is a fact. Yeah, this is a fact of life. In 2010, United Kingdom, the survey was done, and it was discovered that 40% of domestic violence is on the men. See, on the higher side that women are going through what they're going through, but it's a fact.
Yes.
If time will permit me, I would like also maybe a few examples of what domestic violence is towards men that we can look at and go ahead and see it properly from the light of what it is. But domestic violence will not, for me, not be a thing that we should leave aside when we've not given a legal definition to it. And the legal definition here is clearly any abuse, violent, coercive, forceful, threatening act or words inflicted by one member of a family or household on another. This will constitute domestic violence.
Yeah.
And for the man, we know that the Creator, God Himself, created men and women differently. And one of the differences is that women are equipped with verbal power, while the men are equipped with the physical power. So it always happens that when in a situation where an argument comes up, the woman can say more than the man, and for the man to compensate, to see at least I'm in this contest, you want to go violent. So domestic violence, when it comes to this discussion, the first thing that comes to mind is that the physical side, the hitting of that. But at times, if you look at the real definition of domestic violence, it amounts to just verbal abuse. It comes to intimidation. It comes to manipulation. It comes to separating a man from his family. You say, don't see your family and friends no more. These are also forms of domestic violence. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. What I want to add here is that, in fact, I was always thinking of, hey, domestic, what is the meaning of the violence that we are talking about? And I'm glad that Joe has given us that definition. When you look at this definition, it gives us clear indication of where the problem is coming from. If it's physical, then of course, as it's explained, the man has that power to do that. But the other version of the abuse is the verbal, the signs, the body languages and all things that are also part of. If you don't look at all these things, and we just separate it from, let's say, the man being the victim always, or the woman being the victim, then we are not treating the case properly at all. But I always want to look at what is the underlying factor.
That was the question I asked, and I think Joachim, I think maybe omitted that unintentionally. But what are the triggers? What often triggers a woman beginning to assault a man? What are some of the common triggers? I know money is number one.
Money problem, yes. Money problem.
Well, number one, for me, marriage itself or relationship it's not for amateurs.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's a professional.
it's a professional thing. See, that's why in the traditional context, we have two families coming together to perform that marriage rite and ceremony.
Yeah.
So it becomes a family thing. But I see a situation where most times the family is cut out of these things. So when the family is out is not part of it, and you are suffering as the man or the woman in there, whom are you going to complain to? You see, so we have to look at all those factors. Have we missed something in our marriages at all? Or Chief, we have to look at those things also.
Yes, I want to tell him something about what he's saying involving the family.
Yes.
Let me tell you, when you get some families involved, then you are breaking that marriage. You are breaking the marriage. The marriage can only be sustained if the man and the woman can understand themselves and can settle their differences internally.
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing is trusting each other and believing in each other. But the problem, like the question he asked, what are the basic causes of this? Is maybe one is not living up to the expectation. Either the man is not living up to the expectation of the woman, or the woman is not living up to the expectation of the man. And maybe what you have been advising your woman not to do, maybe you have been advising her severally, and still she continues to do that. One day you will be moved to quarrel, or to shout at her, or do anything. But like my friend Joaquin said, the women are known for talking, so they talk 80 to 20. So when their mouth is then the man will react violently. Yeah. But we forget that before the man hits, there's the other side that came first, that abuses, that insult, making you look like you are not a man enough. And for you to sustain, somebody talk about honor. So because of your personal, you want to hold yourself that you are the man of the house, you react. In any case, the violence against women are more than the violence against men. Naturally, you can always understand that. But the only thing is that something leads to those violence. Like he said, in the UK, 40%. In America, every 1 to 4 women are assaulted or just have one way or the other involved in domestic violence. So statistically, it is higher on women, but the man is also growing now. The men is up to 40% now. So if you have 40% of violence involving the men or against the men, then you see that it's at high level. And when we are setting up all these NGOs about who we curb those situations, we should always also think about the men. So it is important.
Sorry, Chief. I think
You have something to.
I'm going to disagree with you there, because if 40% of domestic violence are on men, then how many percent do you think is on children and how many is on women? Automatically, the men is on the higher rate more than the women now. You understand? And from the definition of the domestic violence, we got to understand that there are many angles of domestic violence. It can be verbal, it can be physical, and let's know that there is gym, there is exercise here and there now. If we are talking of men are stronger, women are going to gym just to beat their husband. I'm telling you, most of women now don't talk so much. They just put it in action.
Really?
Yes. like what you said earlier, do you know what it takes a woman to pick a bottle, not ordinary bottle, Jack Daniel's bottle, if you know that bottle, to smash on
It's
a
terrible.
man's head.
I'm going to see what it looks like. I don't know.
You understand? That's one of the most strongest bottle. Yeah.
And he wants to kill, yes.
So when we are talking of
It's
domestic
terrible.
violence
He
on
wants to
men,
kill.
Yeah.
this is something that's really need to be looked into. It really need to be addressed, because men are being abused in so many ways, physically, verbally, by the by where we live. This my sister, when she was saying, she said that something was set up by the women. Eh? It was set up by the men, by the women, but not for the women.
She's domestic violence expert anyway, so.
You know? So I think it's something we really need to look into
right
very,
now.
very well.
Yeah.
So that we don't create something that is going to turn against us again.
Now, most men sometimes, apart from the shame of having to say, you know, they're being beaten. Of course, they don't. I mean, they don't want to. Well, they don't want to, you know, lose their honor.
Yeah.
To, you know,
It's a
by
pity.
reporting that. Also, of course, they're not being believed by the authorities should they report something like that. So these are some of the things hindering them. But also, the facilities to receive them, to handle their cases are not adequate. Like you said, in 2008, they just opened, was it a facility?
Yes, it's a special
facility for men.
Facility for men, right,
Yeah.
right, who have been violated. Right. Another thing that I would like to add, when we say that women are getting stronger in all aspects, and as my colleague is saying, we need to have a better relationship with each other. There's so much work to be done at both sides.
Yes.
Yeah. So part of my work is also working with human rights. It's a basic right of every person, especially children, but men and women, to have you know, their lives settled as they want to. Yeah, to have a relationship which is peaceful. And I think, generally speaking, we have just lost that ability. Beforehand, we had families, we had communities, we had our religions, you know, putting things in space, not all the time, but nowadays in the modern society, even in our own countries, so many structures have been dismantled. So we really need to reorganize that, and it starts with organizing yourself, and by that I mean we need to know how you communicate, because one of the factors of violence is that people are not able to handle their aggression, their anger. Yeah, so it's psychology which is also playing part at that level, at the personal level, and then when it comes to men, they have this honor and they have their position as they had before, and it's changing in a very rapid speed, that we have to look for a balance again. And while I mean violence against anybody is not what we want, but this is the result of so many factors, and the only thing I can come back to all the time is that it starts with yourself. When you're a man getting being in an abuse situation, you need to have your boundaries. Yeah, of course there's so many things going on, but still everybody has a right to say no.
No, but you realize that assuming a man is in a situation whereby a woman is beginning to assault him verbally, so much so that, you know, and the man knows that if he would hit the woman, he will be arrested for assault or charge or something.
Yes.
And so he's compelled to hold, I mean, not to react.
But there's
And
an
the woman-
assumption here saying that a woman is very strong verbally and the man is only strong physically. No, I think men are also capable of, you know,
Verbally, yes, to
they can get through.
respond back.
But you need to develop that more. I think women have it in a natural way, but like women are going to the gym to be physically stronger, men also can get verbally stronger.
Exactly.
And getting, you know, to themselves and saying, this is my limit. Whether you're a man or a woman, I won't take this.
Anyway.
Wow.
Well, if you're listening to this program, we invite you to react by giving us a call on 020-737-1619 and give us your take on this topic so far. And we're talking about triggers. We didn't really get into any, but can you just enumerate very quickly, just get some common triggers? We spoke about money, one, not meeting expectations, as he said. Are there other triggers?
Yes, when a man is flirting, probably when a man is flirting.
When it's not even at the point of flirting. This.
Good morning, caller. Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Open it. Okay. We're not hearing. Open it.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Okay, what's the regular says?
Yeah, let me say something in that regard. Actually, the caller made a very remarkable point. But let me say something here. One of the reasons, one of the things that triggers domestic violence, to my own understanding, is when a man is not standing as a man.
And by that
It's not always money. A man's supposed to be in charge.
Okay.
You are not to look down on your women. Yeah? But as far as your home is concerned, your wife have a very important role to play in suggestions, but the decision will always come from the man. It can even come maybe from the suggestion that the woman made, but the man will always stand as the head of the family. If a man is leaving the position of the family to the woman, it always leads to domestic violence. Because at the end, the woman will take over the man's position.
Wow.
Then, when time for suggestion comes, the man will now suggest, darling, can we do this? The woman will say, no, let's do this. Now, that is when you are relinquishing your power over to woman. And that is one of the triggers of domestic violence. She starts seeing herself as the head of the family.
Do you agree it's a likely trigger? Men not really working their responsibility in the home?
Yeah.
Like he said. Do you agree with that? Yes.
Oh, actually, I have another standpoint. I can understand the reasoning, but for me, it's turning it around, saying it's either you or either me who's going to decide, or who is the boss, who's the person, in charge. And I think we are now in a time that we both need to stand beside. Yes, and so it's not either saying it's you or me. In certain situations, yes, but I think generally speaking, when we would state this and say at the end of the day it should be the man who is in charge, most women will not agree, because it's not a concept which is of this time for me. And I have seen a lot of violence cases, yes. So when it comes to that, I think we won't find each other. We'll be more separated. Yeah. So I don't know how the world will be then. Men on their own and women on their own. I don't know. But no, I wouldn't say that is how it should be. It was that once upon a time. But now, especially the younger generations, they cannot handle this concept, and it will obviously give problems all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
I think what you said is really great and wonderful. And in our midst, we have a chief that has been married for 35 years, and we have another chief here. bringing a lighter note into this again. A couple, very advanced couple, was once interviewed, and they were married for up to 60 years. And they said, "How come you've been married for up to 60 years? Is it that you don't have problems and all that? And younger people are breaking up every day and now and then." The man spoke first. He said, "We agreed earlier on in our marriage that the big decisions, I will be the one to make them. Then the smaller decisions, she will be the one to make them, so that there will be no conflict." I said, they said, "That is wonderful, that is wonderful. So, how many big decisions have you made so far?" I said, "So far, for the past 60 years, none." So that's why we've been together. We've been together like this. So that's why we've been together like this. So like the co-panelist just said it. He said it. The man gives the decision to the woman. The woman should be making most of the decisions. And after some time, say, "No, this is not the way it should be done. I don't want to be called woman rapper. Let me take the mantle of leadership back." Then you start seeing this violence and conflict. If I don't know if I'll create the indulgence to touch on some of these domestic violence, because most of the time when we talk about this domestic, it's always like the physical act. The physical act. I want to talk about some other examples that are good. One is when you call names, insult, or you put one down. You put the man down, you're not man enough. Is this what your mate give as a house welfare or money? That can be domestic violence. And that one is when you prevent the man or the woman, for example, let's focus on the man, from going to work or school. No, you can't go out today. Where are you going to? Every time you say you are leaving, you must
lock him in.
To me.
It's terrible.
Another one is when you stop the man from seeing family and friends. Say, you know, he just got married to you and you're together. And say, "No, you can't see your family, you can't see your old friends no more."
It's terrible.
That's also domestic violence. When you try to control how he spends money. Domestic violence. Or where he goes, or the things he wears. I don't like you dressing like this, I like you dressing like this. It can amount to domestic violence.
It's true.
When you act jealously or possessive or constantly accusing the person of unfaithfulness, that's domestic violence also. Even when the person is not doing anything, it's domestic violence. And the other one is you get angrily when the person drinks alcohol, if that's what they like. It's domestic violence. These are legal aspect of looking at what domestic violence is. You're trying to control the other person's life against the person's will. It's domestic violence.
But Joe, man, cut in here, please.
Chief.
Can I have the last one before? So that we don't just focus on this one. Assault while a person is sleeping is domestic violence. And the other one, you know, when you hit, kick, shove, slaps, chokes, otherwise you hurt. Your children or even the pets. These are acts of domestic. When you force a man against his will to have sex with you, it's a thing. Because right now, most people think men are the one with the higher sexual drive. But at times, some men, I know of a friend of mine, that in the evening, when it's time to go to bed, he will wait for his wife to enter the room. Then he will take 2 pieces of Panadol and drink water and say, "Today I'm not feeling well, I have to sleep." Because if he does not do that, he must perform that night.
Wow.
So performing constantly is a domestic violence, sexual assault. So Chief, over to you.
Speak.
I just want to put a point out.
Before you need to realize that we want to really, we're advocating for the cause of the male victims so strongly, because we know that has really been underplayed. They want to bring that up very strongly. So let's not forget. Go ahead, sir.
I just want to point out to, like from the points he made, things that are seen as examples of domestic violence. To me, there are some I don't see as domestic violence, because when a woman is protecting what rightfully belongs to her, I don't see that as a domestic violence. You understand me? If a woman finds out that the husband goes out to drink and get drunk and try to prevent him from going out, I don't see, she's rather preventing trouble from her home. I don't think that as domestic violence. That is just exactly what I want to point out. Thank you very much. I have been raising up my hand and I want to say something.
Go ahead, Chief.
I just want to summarize everything we have been saying because what leads to domestic violence is communication.
Lack of communication.
When there is no communication effective, when we talk communication, we talk effective communication. When there is no effective communication between man and a woman, there will always be problems. But when there is a good communication, where there's an understanding, trust and love, they will always live in peace. Why I said that like you said, the 60-year-old man did. My own is 10 years, but that is what is working for me. You have to share the views of the woman also. It's not only making a decision on your own, but two of you can balance it. When you balance it, you see that it will not happen, and that will also help you in children's own too. Because when the man and the woman do not have any violence between two of them, the children will live in peace. You will live in peace. The children will be okay. But when there's domestic violence involving the man and the woman, you see that each time there is, so if it is constant, the man starts to hate the children from that woman. It will transfer that aggression from the woman to the children. Yeah? Because that is what leads to that children being abused also. But when there is enough communication, a balanced communication, I see there's no problem. So what we should be advocating, everybody, those agencies and so on, is making the two people to have a good
healthy communication
skills.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That it can be, okay.
In addition to that, before I add to that, I want to just make the point of correction. I was not speaking of alcohol abuse, alcoholic people. It's not everybody that drink alcohol that is an alcoholic person. I'm just saying that, oh, you like to relax at home with a cup of wine. I don't want to say, no, you don't drink wine because why? I'm an SS Christian and you don't do this at all. So that is all. And also, that drinking of alcohol is a different example from the one the man wants to go out. Maybe he has an appointment, he has a business appointment, and the woman say, no, you're not leaving. So it's two different things.
Exactly.
So that is key. And on the issue that Chief touched on is very important, but if you look at when it comes to relationship, it's always very sweet at the beginning. And that is why, the reason is because at the beginning there is love. And when there is love, you overlook so many things. Even the Bible says that love covers multitudes of sins.
Yes.
But when you start growing out of love, that's when you start observing things that you were not observing at the beginning.
Lack of communication.
So when you had love to communication, like Chief pointed out, there is no way you can fail in your relationship, and domestic violence will be reduced to the barest minimum. You have to love and communicate.
I would like to just take a 2 minutes break and then we'll come back. I would tackle the question, how can we help men to deal with abuse cases they are going through right now? Because men need to feel empowered to be able to go out more. And if someone who's trying to protect his honor, okay, how can the person go about it? Because something that is ignored and constantly pushed under the carpet will explode along the line. So how do we empower men to really deal with the abuse situations? Okay, so we'll be back. We'll be back very shortly. In the meantime, listeners, you're still welcome to give us a call on 020-737-1619. We have a couple of minutes to run up the program, so you're still welcome to give us a call. All right, we'll cut the music now. We're coming back to finish up. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, panelists. Welcome back. Okay, now, I think this might be our final question, really. How do we help men to deal with the abuses they are going through? We can enumerate many things, like Joachim mentioned earlier, some of the things which constitute abuse. I purposely didn't go into that because we have defined it many times, but thank you for bringing that up again to refreshing our memories about that. But how can we help a man out there who really is a victim, who really is under some pressure. It's just a matter of time for him to explode, you know. But we don't want it to get to that level. What can we tell that man right now who is enduring verbal abuse, heat, chauvins, and all kinds of other forms of abuse? How can we help that person right now? What do we tell that person? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, wise man said an uninformed mind is a deformed mind. So information is key here.
Yes.
And I think Radio Naija is doing one of those things that are key to enlighten men out there that they should come forth, speak forth about this issue. We have an expert in our midst that on domestic violence. They should do more. Yes. Communicate more, make men to understand that it's okay to speak out. Yes. Before the issue get out of hand, come forth to discuss it with some experts so that they can look for solutions.
So you're saying, if let's say, let me use myself as an example. If let's say I'm getting abused by my wife.
Well, not me.
I don't feel comfortable talking to my friends about it, or even with her friends. What should I do with the first point? I mean, should I go to an institution? If I have to, which one?
Yeah, that is what I'm saying.
Yes.
The professional institution should be the ideal place to go to.
And
Speak to a therapist. But what the angle I want to bring forward here is that I think the experts, they are not doing enough to make the public assess them, to know where to get to, to get how to come for this help. So they should do more in the way of publicity. You can share flyers from house to house, and
even said that most of the flyers and the posters which you see out there, it portrays women under the abused by men. True. So the picture has been created that women are more victims than men.
So when the men call, they don't listen to them. That's the meaning.
And they don't probably believe them.
Sorry, just to help me, Bro Joaquin.
Yeah.
Let's any man who is being abused, let's leave the issue of reporting to friends or families because generally it doesn't help the issue at hand. Please,
it may never happen.
If you are out there and you are such a victim, look for one of these agents, go to them. They know what to do. They are experts in this field. Calling friends, calling families is never the solution.
Yeah, they will call them woman rapper. So that's why.
On it. Please, just look for these agents, and thank God there are some of these agents. Pray earnestly, look for these agents, report your case to them.
Okay. Let me give that number.
For me,
the number is the organization at Standpoint House. Well, the number is 0900 126 2626. 0900 126 2626. So you can call them if you need to talk about what you're going through. Yes, Chief. Go ahead.
In my this thing, they have said it all. Meeting the professionals is one of it. But I will advise if you can identify the causes of that violence.
Yeah.
If anybody who is a victim, cool down at your sober time, think out what is the causes, what leads to this. Why am I not living in peace with my wife or girlfriend or my partner? What is going on? Am I in the right direction, or what am I doing differently? And how do I change it? So what should I be doing in order to solve this situation? It is you who will be able to identify those things. No matter where you go, even if you do not know where you start, you cannot even know where you are ending. So you should identify the causes, and then from there you can get the solution. And if there's no, you cannot make out a solution, you can need this experts. But don't go to the pastors, the brothers, the relations, and because sometimes they cause more confusion in the family.
In addition,
Okay. Is it? I'm looking at it from a very different angle.
May I just hold in 1 second? Let me just put on the news, and then we'll take extra 5 minutes to finish. Shall we do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, Chief, you had a floor before we took the news.
Yes.
Do you recall what you were about to say?
Yes, I spoke about identification of the domestic violence. That is one of those things that will help the victim.
Yeah.
And most importantly, I would have said the police is our friend. The police is the appropriate place to go.
Yeah.
But there's one fear that whenever you report someone, even a friend or talk less of a partner to police, it will cause more harm at a later time. That after all, you took me to the police.
Yeah, it's true.
Police is the best place to go, but people misunderstand the role of the police.
Yes, yes.
So the role of the police is to make peace. Though when a man goes to the police, sometimes too, it becomes another violence there because they will not believe you. If a man goes to report the woman
Yes.
at the police station, at the first instance, the police always treat it with careless approach. They don't take it serious. They don't believe you.
Yeah.
They feel that you are the person is the other
Causing
way
the
around.
trouble.
So that is it. And when the police start to take things seriously,
Yeah.
that this really happens, then it will also help us.
Yeah, that is why we are underscoring it right now, that men who are in this situation should feel bold enough to go to the appropriate authorities to make known their situation. But there's one, yeah, go ahead,
I think
Chief.
you are still on that, and then.
Now I was going to make one more point for us to comment on before we finish.
No, but you okay.
Well, let me say that you can combine it,
Yeah, okay.
your response with, whatever you want to say.
Okay.
There are some who, let's say, because of, let's say, the children in the family, although there's an abuse, they say, oh, because of the children, let me just endure it. Is that a wise thing to do, to keep on enduring because, okay, I don't want to be separated from my children, I don't want to lose my children, and then they keep enduring the whole thing? Is that a wise thing to do for any man?
Well, I was trying to refer to your first question.
Yes,
that is
go
to
ahead.
say, how do we help people out
Yes,
there?
men
And
out
I was
there.
taking it from a different angle because they said that charity begins at home, and I said that marriage is not for amateurs.
Yes.
And you cannot leave or hire somebody to do your press ups for you.
No.
That is a fact that you have to do.
Yes.
So first of all, look into yourself.
Uh-huh.
Go from within and see what is happening.
Yes.
Love never ends. Love never ends, but rather it evolves.
Yeah.
You see, you started loving somebody to initially, oh, I love you, and then it started because you are know that you are from a different background, and that person is also from a different background, and coming together with that same love, you try to, you'll be evolving to a certain point, then you become more brothers and sisters in that. You see, but when there is a conflict, there is a misunderstanding, that is where you have to look back and say, what are the causes of all this?
Yeah.
Of course, you need your communication component to try and see the other side of, or the meaning of what somebody is saying related to that. But don't be so quick-tempered. You are suffering over there, but go down to your drawing board and find out, hey, what am I contributing to these abuses?
Yeah.
If I am able to identify and, let's say, add the love component that I started with, or I'm looking at the issue with love, then it will all melt out, and you see yourself as, oh wow, I'm not the dragon I'm not seeing the dragon in this person at all, but rather I've learned how to live with this person to take away what the victims, the violence from the society or from the household.
Yeah.
You see, for me, if you ask me how have I done it for the 35 years, I've given the woman what? The financial control. She's the financial control of the house.
Yes.
You see, so when you have shared responsibility, well-defined responsibilities in the house,
It helps.
yes. But many a times we do think that the woman, when you give a woman the money is going to no. But rather the other way around, that is where you have your peace at home. So please be very, 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 very. It works for some people. It doesn't work for others. But for me, those are the things. And I have not left I've not hired anybody to do my press ups for me. So I'm working on. It's a training that you do. You have to do yourself. Yes.
But Chief, let's not forget something, that there are women as well as there are some men that naturally they are violent. No matter how much you try to
give them money,
or no matter how much you try to please them,
You see,
when you sit down and reflect on yourself, what is the reason? Why did this woman insult me?
Yes.
You cannot just go to any conclusion. And tomorrow you see there are people that naturally, when they feel that they are in a slight position to push you out of the house,
Yes.
like what the caller said, there are some women, they will be very cool when you are living in one room and one bedroom.
Yes.
They will be very calm, they will love you, they will show you. As soon as you get to the extent of maybe buying a house,
yes,
and they know that you out of this.
Okay, and hi, Gus and Oya, welcome. Thank you for coming today. And James, what's your other name? Emeka James Ginika. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate your contribution. Awesome. Hey, Chief Kyrian Agbodike. God bless you. I appreciate all of you. The Lord bless you mightily. I wish I had silver and gold to give, but I don't have. But such as I have, do I give you? The Lord bless you richly.
Amen.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Announce your Ghana. Announce it. Yeah, do it. Come on. Yeah.
He's already okay. Just want to make a special announcement, and it's in relationship to what I do aside from business. And that you can find on Facebook. My organization is called Wisdom for Total Success International. When you go to Facebook, you can join the group. You receive on a daily basis motivational quotes that keeps your day going, and motivational story that makes your life much more better. So
how can we locate you on Facebook?
Yeah, when you go on Facebook, click the group Wisdom for Total Success International. Yeah, you receive power-loaded motivational quote daily. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And the Chief Kyrian, tell our guests.
Yeah.
Just something
thank
about
everyone.
your business.
Okay, I'm an energy. I'm an energy provider. I use waste to energy, green energy.
Green energy.
The society need green, and the way I'm making the society green.
Wow.
So sustainability is the word. Thank you.
And to you, Guinea. Okay, to Chief.
I'm also for back very much Kofi, the fourth diagnostics and wellness therapy. I do more diagnose people and then also use herbal and also gel-ceuticals to help, give people back the needed energy that they need every day to keep them moving. So take care. You can just get in touch with me for your diagnostics and then also providing you a wellness advice. Yes.
Okay, thank you. We're going to have you one of the days. We have been talking about this. Okay, thank you very much. Have a good day.
And the Ghana coffee. Yeah, Guinea.
Aside from business.
Oh.